Hey, what's going on, guys? Lots been going on in the MMO world, and hopefully we're going to cover some of that stuff today. Hopefully you guys have been staying nice and warm. It's cold. Pretty sure I saw negative 37-degree wind chill here recently. That sucks. At any rate, Ashes of Creation. This is a little late, you know. Little on the late story on this one, but I don't play the game. It doesn't really mean anything to me. I didn't buy into it early. I didn't kickstart, so it looks like it's going the way of the dodo. It looks like there's all kinds of scandal and crazy. Definitely recommend, if you haven't already, watch some of Kira TV's videos. Dude has been doing a truly awesome job at covering the actual details. He's been fair, he's been concise, and specifically he has avoided talking about any kind of BS or bullshenanigans about any sideways stuff going on. He's not giving into the rumors, he's talking about the specific details. So again, Kira TV, definitely give him a check out. Also, some people have been getting refunds regardless of the amount of time that they've played the game. Some people have played the game 300 hours. Some of the people have been playing the game for less than 2 hours. And across the board, a majority of those people have been getting refunds. I know about 11 or so people, and I think 9 out of those 11 people have gotten refunds. And some of those people have resubmitted because people have gotten refunds on the second and third submission. It appears to be related to who you get as a person reviewing your case, but make sure that you submit it as a clarification as opposed to an actual, refund request. Beyond that one, we've got Discord now asking for your identification or facial recognition in order to utilize it as something other than a teenager. They are going to block you receiving DMs, being a part of stages, and all joining age-specific conversations and topics, things that will be identified by Discord AI as being adult, you will no longer be able to see. Now, there's some exemptions to this, but by and large, this is a really terrible request on Discord's side. I just can't imagine that these guys are actually out there asking for this so soon after they had a massive data breach. Not a great look, Discord, and frankly, I hope you don't drive everyone directly off your platform so quickly. Just because the UK did it and Australia did it does not necessarily mean the rest of the world wants to do it. Good luck with that one. Hopefully you change your mind and we can get back to some normalcy. Rift. Oh my God, guys, Rift. As of February 3rd of 2026, Gamigo has decided to finally put in level locking. So the crew who were doing the Riftwalkers, basically the revival of Rift and the original experience, people wanting to lock their levels so they can do the dungeons at appropriate levels, they can do all the areas at appropriate levels, they can do all the raids at appropriate levels, are now able to do so without risk of them potentially out-leveling the content on accident. This is a big win for all the people who are over there. It's honestly a big win for Gamigo, who just got another big win through Wizards 101 moving to console, and they literally blew up millions of members over there. Crazy. But big win for Rift. Hopefully it's not too little too late. They said they were going to do this about 4 months ago now, and it's only just now coming to be. So hopefully they didn't miss that wave, but I digress. Fallout. Well, for those of you who haven't seen the Fallout TV series on Amazon, you should stop watching this video and go watch that immediately. It's a really great series. It's one of the better video game adaptations that TV has produced, and it continues to be amazing. Season 1, good. Season 2, good. However, Bethesda, being Bethesda, tried to create a bunch of hype about this big release that they possibly had in their back pocket. all of a sudden, all these people started running around trying to search and find out. They felt like maybe, just maybe, there would be a New Vegas remaster, but no luck. Not today. You get a 3D environment where you can explore House's penthouse. You know, I think it's cool. I think it would have been fine if you created this and you did this anyway. But creating up the level of hype that you did for this announcement and then to deliver this just feels a little offbeat. I just don't really understand why you would hype it up quite as big. There's a Fallout 3 remaster coming, which I'm excited for. I know some people feel good about it. Some people feel bad about it. I enjoy all the Fallout games, so no biggie here. But I'm a little concerned with the fact that they hyped up something so significant just to offer something kind of... Most people won't even engage with it. I'd be surprised. Comment below. Did you actually check out the Fallout 3D environment? I'm going to guess most people say no. World of Warcraft launched the Burning Crusade, and as a result, they may have broken a few things. Oops, layers don't work. You can't play the game with all the people that you were intending to play the game with. Be it good, be it bad. Obviously, a big uh-oh and no fun. Really created a bad dynamic. I read some of the forums. I don't normally go in the WoW forums. WoW is not normally my game. But what I will say is there were a lot of really, really angry people. Meanwhile, the bots apparently got turned up to 11. People are complaining that they basically can't engage with most of the content because there are so many bots. And I'm excited because I'm level 30, still leveling up to get to the Burning Crusade over there. And all of a sudden, all the level 60s that were camping my body for 20 or more kills have decided to go try the Burning Crusade and leave my little Arathi Highlands alone so that I may quest in peace. Thank you. Thank you. Everquest, their new TLP system is coming out real soon. And as a result, folks like Eighth are burning up their new beautiful systems where they're running over to Vaniki and they're inviting folks for free achievement runs so you can unlock your items. Be on the lookout. They'll be real soon. The new TLP looks interesting. I am genuinely curious what's going to happen over there. They have pretty much every XP bonus you could possibly imagine, which is kind of cool. You may actually see a TLP where you can level one character to max level in the first day. Maybe. Seems kind of interesting. And then maybe you could level all your personas up too. It seems like pretty crazy voted on stuff. But all in all, could be cool, could be fun. 16 weeks in one expansion. I believe it's Velius, and then 16 weeks in Lucklin, and then on to Pop. And I don't know. With such extreme experience rates and an extended period of time in both of those expansions, I have to assume the burnout is going to be heavy and the burnout is going to be quick. You're going to have a lot of people who are exclusively raid logging, and, you know, maybe that's good, maybe that's bad. I can't imagine that that's going to work out too particularly great. But shortly after they're doing something unprecedented, which they're releasing the second TLP. Yes, that's right. This year, they're not releasing the TLPs at the same time. They're actually splitting them up. Now, there may be some debate as to why they're doing this and possible profit areas and various different things like that. Whatever the reason is, I don't think it necessarily matters as a player. You can technically play both TLPs now if you want to. And the second one is starting in Serpent Spine and has something called Personal Loot. Kind of exciting, kind of cool. I will be genuinely interested to see exactly how they implement Personal Loot. It could mean a lot of different things, and it could be implemented in a lot of different ways. And until we see a little more, I'm going to reserve my opinion on the outcome. I think it's really cool that they're starting in Serpent Spine. Very, very interesting decision. You know, you're going to get access to the Berserker and the Beast Lord in both of the TLPs from launch. And, you know, now you're going to have access to a whole totally new storyline and a bunch of new starting areas. So that'll be really cool. I think that they might be on to something a little different this time, and it might change the normalcy that we know of annual TLPs. RuneScape 3 and the Road to Restoration. They're completely revamping RuneScape 3, which is an exciting, honestly, mind-blowing thing. They're doing some huge things where they're working on microtransactions. They're revamping what they call Dailyscape. It's not something that I'm super familiar with because I'm not a RuneScape player by nature. I only just recently tried out both versions, old school RuneScape and RuneScape 3. But they are trying to crush down the Dailyscape. The need to log in every day and do an hour's worth of quests and missions and things like that in order to obtain various different crafting materials and materials in general so that you can progress your game. I personally, for me, don't like mechanics like that, but I know there's a lot of people out there that do enjoy those mechanics, and I think that that's, you know, fine to enjoy those mechanics. I lean a little bit more towards the idea of this being a good move. Frankly, it's going to change the landscape. It's going to allow people to play the game at the rate that they want to play the game, and you're going to now be able to do what you want when you want to, as opposed to feeling compelled to play the game or FOMO for playing the game. And you're no longer forced into doing something every single day. Don't know. That's just my opinion. They're also taking out the random wilderness flash events, Motherlode Maw, Traveling Merchant, Divine Locations, Mini Evil Tree, Sinkholes, Garage Card, and the Rune Goldberg Machine. And I guess these are more things that lean into that sort of Dailyscape, as well as some PvP, because the wilderness is the PvP area on RuneScape. Guild Wars 2 also made a huge announcement. They're introducing a new raid encounter where you got to beat up a big old rainbow crab. I don't know. It's actually kind of a cool fight. I watched Larinity play it through quite a few times the day it came out. It's really neat, honestly. It is a kind of cool new raid. Sort of, I don't want to say it's new to Guild Wars, but the mechanisms and the difficulty and things definitely bring a new experience to Guild Wars. They're also introducing a new transmog system, or like clothing appearance system, and as a result they're providing you with some additional fashion change tokens. They're also creating a fashion week. Hopefully you guys were able to get your Twitch drops over the last weekend. They end they actually ended yesterday. I know there was like a top hat and a visor and a couple of other little things that you could get from watching Twitch campaigns. I would expect to see a couple more of these things as well in the near future. They're also introducing a raid finder mechanic. It is a raid encounter quick play queue. This will apply to Aetherblade, Hideout, Whisper of Jormag, Bone Skinner, Cosmic Observatory, Temple of Phoebe, Zunlai Jade Junkyard, Old Lion's Court, and Koenig Overlook. There are new rewards, new achievements, leaderboards, and a new weekly cap of magnetite shards that has been set to 800. So if you're big into the Guild Wars 2, lots of fun new things to do, lots of new ways to engage with content. That's a win-win. Whether you agree with the new processes, let me know. I'd be curious. Pantheon, which is chugging along, holy cow, their new funding breathed a new life into the game. Absolutely substantial changes that they've made. Then they're building on the stuff that sounds really cool, and they're changing the things that people actually are saying that they're not really having a lot of fun engaging with. They have a massive reset of the server coming soon, where they're going to overlook sort of a lot of the good mechanics, and they're going to be changing a lot of the fighting mechanics, combat mechanics, specifically how stats affect tanking. There's a lot of content that they've been just drilling through. It kind of blows my mind. I have high hopes for this game, Pantheon, as Brad McQuaid's, last hoorah before passing away. I really just hope that this thing sees launch, and I hope that it is moderately successful. I also think that they're making some decisions that are starting to separate themselves from Monsters and Memories and some of the other games that are out there that make them unique, as opposed to pretty much in line with Monsters and Memories. Which brings us to our next topic. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, there's a stress test next week. Make sure you get up in there. New stress test. I believe this stress test, hold on real quick, they just announced this, so it's actually not on my little document of things that I wanted to talk about. But I do think this is a really big deal. I do think that this is going to be really exciting. People are going to have a lot of fun. Obviously, Monsters and Memory stress tests go big. So let's see. We've got stress test February 13th, Friday, 2026 at 1 p.m. is the start. And it looks like they plan on going at least 8 hours. At least 8 hours. So if you're interested in checking that out, make sure you register. Make sure you get all your stuff downloaded. You can get into the character selection and creation before they even open the servers. And then you can get in there and enjoy it. Check it out if you haven't already. Super cool game. Very old school feel. I know a lot of people have a lot of strong opinions about this one, but frankly, it's a bit of fresh air. While everybody's focused on and is angry about the graphics and the old style or slow progression, I'm most excited about no microtransactions, no investors, and the fact that these guys are making a game that they want to play, which makes you know that it's going to be fun to some extent, and they're not answering to anybody, so they don't have to worry about all the nonsense about, oh, do this because it's going to make people pay more money. Oh, put all these dailies in the game because we need to make sure our numbers are padded. None of that stuff's going to exist. So I really appreciate that. In addition to that, we've got Adrullan Online Adventures, who've just released another massive patch note. I would love to just list off some of the things, but honestly, the patch notes are like 4.5, almost 5 pages long of just all the things that they've added to the game and are changing. Hopefully, we haven't heard, but hopefully they also do a stress test real soon. Would love to see something out of these guys where we can get people back in the game and experiencing it. I think a lot of people with the Hytale rush, if you're interested in Hytale, definitely check out Adrullan Online Adventures because it has that same fun feel, but it's the actual MMORPG that a lot of people I think were expecting when they played Hytale, but didn't quite get it. I know there's some people who are building some mods for MMOs and role-playing versions of Hytale, but I think there's a lot of people out there that were expecting hopefully a little more. I think Hytale will get there, but it's just not there yet. In other big news, Project Gorgon. Holy cow, this game, it's been in development for a really long time. We've really tried to, we tried to get in there. We tried to experience it. We tried to mess around. But every time I logged in, they were just complete. There were so many people in the starting area, in the tutorial area, that I couldn't really do anything. I mean, there were so many people just standing on individual spawn points to kill things that I really couldn't do much. I tried it day 1. I tried it day 2. I tried it day 4, and then I tried it again yesterday, and I got to tell you, a lot of really cool mechanisms. The game reminds me a lot of Everquest 2, but almost everything you do, including and up to dying, actually has experience and skill. So if you go pick a mushroom, you get points in mycology. If you go skin an animal, you get points in butchering. You go cook something, there's cooking. If you die, there's actual experience in dying, and it gives you more health and some other traits and things. It is interesting. The game is a little slower paced, but I definitely think there's some promise here. They've just had to open their 4th server. I think their numbers were up around 6,000 to 8,000 last time I checked, so definitely worth checking out. They have a free tutorial demo that you can check out. It's basically you can play on the tutorial island, and you can do this for free. So if you don't know or you're on the fence before you want to spend I think it's like $25, download the demo. Check it out, man. It's free. It's kind of an interesting game. It's got a lot of very interesting mechanics. Very old, it's old style grindy, but it's interesting. It's kind of fun. It's kind of nuancy, kind of niche, but definitely recommend checking it out if you haven't. That's pretty much what we wanted to talk about today, guys. The world is crazy. Everything's burning down. Nobody likes MMOs and whatever, blah, 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 blah. You're not going to hear that stuff from me. Frankly, I like to keep it positive. I like to keep it forward. And I'm looking out for some of these new titles. We've got, the Monsters and Memories, the Adrullan Online. Obviously, Project Gorgon just came out. There's a Kickstarter called Epitome that just got funded. I don't know. I'm not super hopeful on the Kickstarter front, but maybe we'll cover some of that in the future. What games are you looking forward to? What kind of things are you excited to see and experience? Let me know down in the comments. And frankly, I look forward to seeing you out there. Take it easy, guys. Till next time. Peace.